Hello and welcome. It is the 8th day of January, as the date would say on the top of the screen. The year number is 2019. All bets trades, of which within the like, and not really trades, this is more bets. And let's go over the action for tonight. A decent amount of selections in play. Every game or every play over plus 100, although one is barely over that number. No play in Carolina against. No. That's wrong. That is wrong. There is a play on Carolina and the Islanders, and that is laying a goal and a half on the Islanders. I don't think Leonard's going to play. I think it's going to be Thomas Greiss. It really doesn't matter. Greiss has pretty much been playing almost as solid as Leonard has. The Islanders are winning games. I'm a little concerned, McElhinney in net, but you know what, though? Islanders are at home. The 1.5 has worked very, very well. If you find spots within the NHL on home teams that are going to win, even opinion plays, which it pretty much is on the Islanders, work well enough to back it and actually make the wagers on the 1.5 line, because the number you can see in here is like plus 235. That's just too large of a number. You win that 33% of the time you're profiting, and I think you do win that, at least that number. Okay, let's move on to the next game, and it's the Florida Panthers, and they're taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The problem in this game is the price. You're getting plus 150 on the 1.5 line. That means you got to win 10 of 25 times just to break even. And I don't see extreme amount of profits amongst this situation for that puck line. I would really like to play it if possible. I'm not. It's tough to pass on. There's no way I could back Florida in any spot right now. New Jersey taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Keith Kincaid versus Carter Hutton. An opinion play on the under in this game. We got both stars on each team, Taylor Hall and Jack Eichel, out for this for the contest, and the goaltenders have been relatively solid. I mean, no, Kincaid has got a goals against average of 3 and a save percentage right at the 9 number, which isn't great. It's actually average at best. But Buffalo's offense to me is nothing of spectacular whatsoever. I don't got to play on in this game. Minnesota is taking on the Boston Bruins. This is a very difficult matchup, as Minnesota's turning it on. I mean, if anything, maybe the under on this game again. And I am playing one under tonight, but it's not this one. That's really the only way I can look. Boston's playing really good, but they are priced. Again, plus 145 on the minus 1.5. Same, even worse than the Pittsburgh, although barely marginal. And I really don't want to touch that. Columbus, Tampa Bay, over 7.5 is how I'm playing it, and I barely like it because the lines are starting to move. They got 6.5, barely favored to go over the total, which is correct for them to do it. But I think the fair line should still be at least 7 favored over, or even 7.5 favored over. And therefore, I'm taking it. The line I got, or the price, but plus 180. And I have to think that really a fair price on the 7.5, given just the metagame and how it's changing for Tampa Bay. I don't know how you can give anyone at least plus 130, plus 135. That to me is high enough as it is. So I'm going to be on it. Now, as far as playing Tampa, this whole road trip thing, that you come off of a long road trip, especially when you go a decent distance or across time zones, which is what they did, coming back from California, I really have a hard time backing them on their first game off of a road trip. Any team, I certainly can't go against that train and play any type of Columbus levels. But I don't want to do anything. It's plus 141 on the minus 1.5 price, which normally is something for a team that consistently wins like almost every game and by multiple goals, becomes priceable and playable. But within this one here, not gonna. I can play in the over. Other than that, that's it. There's some teams where it doesn't matter again who the goalie is. This is the backup for Phoenix, or not Phoenix, For Washington, named Phoenix Copley or Copley. So that's Braden Holtby's backup. I add the two numbers here. They're 9 and 4, 255 goals against average, 91.5% save percentage. Washington, the much, much better team. Terrible price on the money line or puck line at plus 126. I'm actually going to do a 3-team parlay. This will be one of 3 teams I'm going to be playing on the money line, which will pay about 2-1 odds. So I'm going to put 3 favorites on, this being the first one. Next game is the Montreal Canadiens versus the Detroit Red Wings. And this is going to go in the line of opinion play. If I see that Carey Price is in and I'm getting the same price, then I might want to change it up. But Montreal on the regulation line. And why regulation line? It's good to note when you're looking at a game how the overtime works, as that can help you decide playing money line or playing such. Detroit does really well in overtime. Dylan Larkin is a 3-on-3 machine. Him and Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, those are my 2 favorite players watching on the 3-on-3. So therefore, if the game goes to overtime, another thing of note, and I got another game in this situation too later on in this video, or maybe the next game, but there's one more where one team really sucks at overtime. But this is a team that's really good at overtime, and that's Detroit. And therefore, if they happen to go, if I can get a good money, especially in the plus price, or I guess it's a pick'em line, anywhere near like minus 105, minus 110, Detroit's probably got a very good chance of winning. So when I'm already confident on a team like that, I want to take the regulation win on the other side, or lay the goal and a half. But I would rather take regulation over money line. And there would be no way I could take a regulation line with Detroit when I'm confident backing them in the extra frame. But it's opinion play, though. Next up is the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets, and that's the one there. Colorado is just terrible in overtime. Just terrible. Terrible. If you look at this, 9-4-3. 7 times he's already got defeated in overtime right there. If you see this game's in overtime, just back the Jets. Just take them to win, minus 140, minus 150, minus 160, so be it, I would think. And I'm going to lay a goal and a half. This is my strongest play. It's like plus 166, so that's just high enough in that area where it's starting to look very, very profitable. Colorado's not that good of a team overall, and they've definitely been playing really bad lately. Winnipeg, a lot of their losses lately are against teams in solid runs. Calgary, losing to Pittsburgh, losing to some top teams lately. So therefore, Winnipeg Jets laying a goal and a half on the number. We got the Dallas Stars taking on the St. Louis Blues. And what they're going to do is play the game of hockey. And there's not much more I'm going to say about that game. So you got an idea where I'm going there, which is nothing. New York Rangers are taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. I mentioned about playing the parlay of 3 teams. The second one will be the Vegas Knights. They are big favorites. We have Alexander Georgiev in net. So Lundqvist is out. 5-6 record at 335 goals against average. Here's another situation in Vegas. It doesn't matter who the goalie is. I don't care if Fleury's in or out or if it's a backup. I'm also going to be playing this game, and I don't like it quite as much anymore, but it's still an okay play. I'm going under the total, and I'm going a weird number, 5 3/4, which is an Asian line. What that means at 5 3/4 is if the game ends at a 6-goal total, I get half of my bet refunded back. And if it's 5 or less, I win. If it's 7 or more, I lose. And again, at exactly 6, if it ends 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0, then I would lose half my wager. So that's what I'm doing within that game there. We have the Edmonton Oilers taking on the San Jose Sharks. So the third part. The Washington should be the third. Okay. Vegas is the first part of the 3-teamer. Let me just bring... San Jose, of course. So San Jose is the third team of it. Edmonton's playing terrible. Again, we got a bad price, plus 135 on the money line for the home team. Not liking these, what I'm seeing, the teams I want being money line favorites of minus 200, and then having this on the price on the money line. But Edmonton is really, really playing bad. Still, they got to win, but they beat a pretty bad team. They beat Anaheim, who was like on an 8-game losing streak coming in. So that doesn't impress me much as Shania Twain. As I was going to say once sang in a song, but I think that number would be higher than once. So therefore, I'm not impressed at all by the Edmonton Oilers in that spot. I don't care what it comes down to it. If it is Aaron Dell, it will be because I think it was Martin Jones that played yesterday. But Edmonton is, I think, poorly coached, poorly managed, and they're living on. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Everything around him is just terrible. Everything past Connor McDavid, it's just a mess amongst the Edmonton organization, like it is with the Green Bay Packers in pro football. So that's how I'm playing the NHL card for tonight's action. A quick look at tomorrow's game, and I really haven't looked yet at tomorrow, and that's why it's just going to be relatively quick. We got the Nashville Predators, who shut out the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday, going to Chicago, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. You're going to expect the Predators to be a road favorite in this spot, as they should. Early opinions, Nashville's showing they're breaking out of their slump and a trend reversal for them to be bullish, so it's going to be. And then Chicago, same thing with them. The trend reversal. They were starting to get good again, and they're just ever since the game against Boston, it's just been downhill spiral now going back for them. Colorado's going to be playing a back-to-back and a very tough, really good team in the Calgary Flames. I hope the price is right. I'm going to most likely be backing the Calgary Flames big in this game. And now we want to talk about a tremendous overtime team versus a horrible overtime team now. I guess not really. I'm surprised that they got 7 losses. And I guess I'm even surprised by Colorado because you think with Nathan McKinnon and that youngster that was drafted the same year Mitch Marner and Connor McDavid were drafted as well. Drafted like 6th or 7th or 8th overall that year. He's been one of the top players. Surprised that they would be usually good 3-on-3 hockey players. But Calgary is really coming along, playing strong. Basically the opposite of their cross-province rivals, the Edmonton Oilers, as far as management being run. It's just phenomenal right now in Calgary. Ottawa sent, oh my goodness, bad game. What a bad game. I mean, oh boy. This is not a good game. This is just a really, really bad game. Anaheim's lost about 9 games in a row, and Ottawa's amongst the worst teams in hockey. And it's in Anaheim. This is just a really, really bad game. Something that you want to watch, and I'm sarcastic, but maybe you do. I'm not going to be able to watch it because I don't have the centralized package, and it's most certainly going to be a regional game. I would guess the game I'm going to get on my local TV would be Nashville at Chicago, because they don't usually show that these are usually regional games, and the regional team I get are the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I also got an NBA interesting spot for the NBA tonight. And I know I hate to back huge favorites, but the Golden State Warriors are massive home favorites, and they're in a spot with premium days off before and after the event. It's like 2 days off before the last game and 2 days off until their next. So I just think they're going to go out and destroy their lower class opponents, and it wouldn't surprise me if they win by like 30, 40 points. Just something of note within it. I'm not betting it, but that's what I was thinking when I was looking at the NBA matchups last night. Alrighty, what was I going to look at again with today's game? Yeah, tell it what game would most likely be on my tube tonight. Florida-Pittsburgh has got a good chance. I mean, I can always check on the guide. Wild Boston, that'd be a boring game. Columbus, Tampa. Philadelphia, Washington seems like one that might be on there. This game, usually on a Tuesday night, I'm not going to get a national Canadian game. But sometimes they'll stick like a Vancouver game just on a random night. They give every Saturday night, they got every Canadian game is televised coast to coast. in Canada. Sunday night there's a Canadian game at nighttime. Colorado Winnipeg would be regional to the Winnipeg area. Rangers Vegas, although it's late, that would be an interesting game to watch. And Edmonton San Jose again would be a regional game. I'm gonna pause the tape and just see what game is on. And it's a double header with the Rangers and Knights being the second half of it, and then the Boston Bruins hosting the Minnesota Wild is the first game, at least for my local viewing region in the Toronto area. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.